I wasn't planning to fall for her. She was part of the diplomatic envoy, a translator and cultural liaison from the newly contacted Interspecies. Elegant, silver-skinned, sharp-minded, her name was Serah, but everyone just called her Serah. And somehow, she ended up assigned to me, a boots-on-the-ground human engineer who couldn't tell a diplomatic protocol from a dinner napkin. She'd show up in the engine room while I was elbows deep in coolant lines, watching with curious, glowing violet eyes. She'd ask questions, offer insight, then offer silence. Sometimes we just sat, me with my tools, her with her data pad. And something about that silence, it wasn't awkward. It was comfortable. I didn't know when I started looking forward to it, or when I started noticing the soft way her voice dipped when she said my name. The Theri were new to the Alliance. Humanoid, but not quite human. Sleek features, luminous eyes, graceful movements. They saw the world differently, measured time in heartbeats, didn't use chairs, and spoke in three-layered meaning that most humans found maddening. But Serah had learned our ways. She spoke Terran standard better than most Earth diplomats. And yet, she never lost the rhythm of her own people. She moved like poetry, balanced, deliberate, always with intent. And somehow, over the course of 6 months on this shared outpost, we became inseparable. Co-workers started whispering, "You and the alien, huh?" I'd just grin and say, "She's not just an alien.
She's Serah."
One night, I nearly kissed her. We were watching the meteor showers through the observatory dome. Her head rested lightly against my shoulder, her silver skin catching the light like polished stone. The room was quiet, private. Her hand brushed against mine. I turned toward her, heartbeat climbing. "Serah," I whispered, "I think I'm falling for you." She blinked, then tilted her head. "You think?" I chuckled.
"No."
"I know." Then I leaned in just a little. But just before our lips met, she pulled back, her expression unreadable. "What's wrong?" I asked. "You're trying to kiss me." I froze. "Is that not allowed in Theri culture?" "No," she said calmly. "It's very serious. A bond gesture. Permanent." "Oh, didn't you mean it to be permanent?" she asked, eyes wide. I opened my mouth, closed it, then nodded. "Yeah, I did." She smiled gently. "Then why would you kiss me again?" I blinked. "What do you mean again?" She placed her hand on my chest. "By our customs, we were married the day you touched my forehead and said, 'I'd follow you anywhere.'" My jaw dropped. "That was 3 months ago." She nodded. "It was beautiful." Suddenly, the pieces clicked. The head touch during a rescue mission. The way she held my hand afterward. The meal she cooked for me from her homeworld, served on the floor with no utensils. The tiny silver braid she'd woven into my cuff one morning, smiling like she knew a secret. I hadn't been flirting. I'd been courting, aggressively and apparently very successfully. I rubbed my face. "Serah, why didn't you tell me?" She gave a slight tilt of her head. "You never asked." My heart pounded. "So, wait, we're married? Right now?" "Yes," she said softly. "And I would very much like it if you kissed me again now that you understand." We kissed. This time, fully aware, fully present. And it wasn't just heat or longing. It was belonging. It was a promise sealed twice. Life changed after that. She moved into my quarters, though most of her things remained in the ceremonial space she'd set up back in the Theri section. We began blending routines, my structured days with her intuitive ones. Mornings became a quiet ritual of shared tea and wordless smiles. Evenings were laughter and philosophical debates. My team noticed. So did hers. Whispers turned to curiosity, then concern. Doesn't this compromise negotiations? The base commander asked me once. Why? I replied, because I love her, because she's Theory, and you're not. That didn't matter to us. But to the Alliance? To the political machine? It was inconvenient. Then came the incident. A trade envoy from a rival species, the Koran, arrived for peace talks. They didn't believe in mixed species unions, especially not involving someone from a species they'd once warred with, the Theory. When they spotted Serah on my arm during a welcome ceremony, whispers turned into accusations. Conflict of interest, they barked. Symbolic insult. Another growled. You brought your property. One sneered at me. I nearly punched him. Instead, Serah stepped forward, serene and strong. I am no one's property, she said. And I chose my bondmate freely. The room fell silent. Then the Koran delegation stood and walked out. The Alliance nearly cracked. Command called us both in. You have to end it, at least publicly. The optics. No, I said. I won't. Neither will I, Serah added. This is bigger than your affection. Serah turned to them, voice like steel. This isn't affection. This is commitment. And if the Alliance can't make room for love, then perhaps it needs to be redefined. The standoff made headlines. Across dozens of systems, debates sparked. Ethics, diplomacy, unity. But something unexpected happened. Citizens, not diplomats, started supporting us. Messages poured in. From humans. From Theory. Even from some Koran dissenters. Thank you for showing us it's possible. I thought love across the stars was just fiction. You two gave me hope. The Alliance didn't crumble. It evolved. Protocols shifted. Interspecies unions were formally recognized under a new clause. We were the case study. Years later, we returned to that observatory. Same meteor shower. Same soft lighting. Serah rested her head on my chest, our fingers intertwined. You still think you fell for me by accident? She teased. I grinned. I think I stumbled into the best decision of my life. You're lucky Theory don't believe in divorce. I laughed. Do humans believe in worship? Because I'm pretty sure that's what this is. She turned toward me, glowing softly in the starlight. Then kiss your wife, stargazer. And I did, knowing now that when I reached for her that day, across all the differences, through all the silence, I had already found home.